We're about to dive into a story that really echoes across time. It starts with this quiet, really personal moment that somehow holds the key to a massive, world-changing event. It's a story all about love, prophecy, and one single, really mysterious number.
So you've got a sacred prayer, an innocent little kid, and a number. On the surface, they seem totally disconnected, right? But they're not. They're woven together by this incredible secret. So what is it? What's the thread that ties them all together? That's exactly what we're going to unpack.
And this is the key right here. The number 72. It's the thread that, once we start to pull on it, just unravels this unbelievable story of prophetic insight and incredible sacrifice. So keep that number 72 locked in your mind as we go back in time. Okay, so our story begins not on a battlefield or in some grand hall, but in a moment of quiet, personal devotion. It's really just an act of pure love between a grandfather and his grandson that honestly left everyone who saw it scratching their heads for years. I want you to just picture the scene for a second. The Prophet Muhammad is leading his community in prayer. He's in prostration, that moment where you're bowed down in the deepest point of connection and humility with God. The whole atmosphere is just one of total reverence and focus. So right in the middle of this incredibly sacred moment, his beloved grandson, a little kid named Hussein, does exactly what you'd expect a child to do. He sees his grandpa, this figure of immense love, and just playfully, affectionately climbs right onto his back. It's just a pure, innocent act of love. Now, here's where things get really interesting. It's all about what happens next, or actually, what doesn't happen. Instead of getting up to continue the prayer like he normally would, the prophet just stays down. He holds his prostration for a really, really long time, all with his little grandson still on his back. And look, to really get the weight of this moment, you have to understand what the Sajda is. It's not just a physical movement. It's considered the spiritual peak of the entire prayer. It's a moment of complete submission and closeness to God. So to make it last this long, well, that was super unusual. You can just imagine the people praying behind him. They must have been so confused, thinking, what's going on? Why is this taking so long? Why was this one moment, with a child on his back, so different from any other prayer they'd ever witnessed? And this is where we find our first big clue. It was revealed later on that during the super long prayer, while he was literally bearing the weight of his beloved grandson, the prophet was reciting praises of God, these things called Tasbeehs. And he didn't just say them a few times. He recited them, you guessed it, exactly 72 times. That number, 72, it was anything but random. It was a message. It was a prophecy. Because decades later, that exact same number would show up again in one of the most tragic and pivotal events in all of history. Now, this connection wasn't obvious right away. Not at all. We have to jump forward in time, long after the prophet had passed away. That little boy, Hussein, is now a grown man, and he's about to face an enormous test of his principles. And right here, this is the prophetic echo. The 72 praises the prophet recited while his grandson was on his back, they directly correspond to the 72 loyal followers who would stand and die with him at the Battle of Karbala. It's like it was a praise for every single soul. So who were these 72 people? Well, they were led by Imam Hussain himself, and they were making a stand against corruption and tyranny. They were his family members, his absolute closest friends, his most loyal companions. And in a single day, out on the plains of Karbala, every single one of them made the ultimate sacrifice for what they believed in. So what does this all mean? I mean, this incredible connection, it's not just some historical coincidence. No way. It's this profound legacy of love and sacrifice that just keeps echoing through time. So the really crucial point here is that this was so much more than just a tender moment. It was an act of prophetic foreshadowing. You could call it a divine glimpse, a communication that was preparing the prophet for the immense, heavy sacrifice his own family would one day have to make for justice. In that moment of prostration, the prophet wasn't just feeling the physical weight of a child on his back. He was feeling the spiritual weight of the future. The weight of a grandfather's incredible love was matched perfectly by the gravity of a future sacrifice that would be remembered forever. This story is such a powerful reminder that some moments in our lives carry these echoes that we might not understand until much, much later. And it kind of leaves us with this final question to think about. How do the echoes of the past in our own lives and in history shape how we understand things like love, loyalty, and sacrifice today?